Welcome back, Holotable Heroes, to yet another Galaxy of Heroes video. I am your bald-headed boy, Scribble, and we've made it to the weekend. The weekend is here. Friday mornings, baby! Galactically Challenged. Let's do this. In today's rather splendiferous account of Galactically Challenged, we're facing off against Dr. Aphra. Everybody's favourite legendary, apart from, most of the other ones. She's really cool, actually. We've got modifiers, as per usual. The global modifier is Remnant of Power. Whenever a character inflicts a debuff, they're going to gain a stack of Imperial Rule, because the Imperial Might is right. That Imperial Rule is going to give us stacking 2% offense and potency. Our player modifier is Fearless Fortitude, because the favourite faction of every player, including CG, is Resistance. Whenever an enemy resists a detrimental effect from a Resistance ally, we gain heal over time for 1 turn. Whenever a Resistance ally gains a buff, they also gain stacking potency, crit chance, and crit damage until the end of battle and 10% turn meter. It's actually quite a good modifier, I'll be honest. The enemy has got hedged bets. Whenever a scoundrel ally deals damage to the target enemy, for each buff that enemy has, the ally gains that buff for 3 turns, apart from taunts. Then dispel all buffs. It's annoying. They're constantly dispelling our buffs and then stealing them. Very rude. So, the feats: we need to win with a full squad of resistance, which really isn't as hard as it sounds, complete the battle after gaining offense up 20 times, and win after taking 8 turns in a row. Now, I've got a swathe of forms and teams that you can use to get all these feats done, so let's start breaking it down. I'm going to go in with what I consider to be the easiest one to get all of the feats in 1 turn. 1 turn? 1 battle. Pardon me. Let's roll it. So, the team is going to be a JTR lead. We're using BB-8, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Bag Bro Finn. All you need is an opening turn where Aphra doesn't increase your cooldowns. If that happens, absolutely fine. Use R2-D2 stealth, leave BB-8 out in the open, he does a bit of a wiggle, and then I'm going to start putting stacks of translation on our characters, targeting BT1 first. Then we're going to increase the cooldowns and decrease the TM on Dr. Aphra because she's a rather horrible individual, and then she'll continually stealth. We're going to be swapping turns back and forth with Bag Bro Finn. I think I'm going ahead and throwing it over to JTR here because I want a couple more turns with her. And it's just a case of systematically destroying our opponents. We're generating so much TM in this, thanks to the modifier and thanks to JTR's lead, that basically the enemy doesn't really get to take a turn. Now you can drag this battle out and use Illuminated Destiny to try and hit that 20 stacks or 30 stacks of offense up during one battle. I didn't do it this time. I don't think it was worth really sweating it. I actually recommend that if you're looking to try and get that offense up feat done, that you don't do it with this particular team. I have a much better team for you for getting that feat done later on. So I'm just taking out characters. Look, they are just absolutely melting. Those exposes from C-3PO in this resistance team is just doing phenomenal levels of damage. Now, don't forget, Dr. Aphra can actually revive enemies. There's Illuminated Destiny, passes offense up to the whole team, but of course, we've only used it once so far. We need to get triple stacks of translation on BB-8, then we need to, constantly decrease cooldowns by using specials and keeping the enemy alive, etc., etc., if you really want to hit that offense up feat with this team. Again, got a better team for it later. So I actually end up dealing with Aphra last. What you could try and do is you could try and land confusion on Dr. Aphra early on so she can't stealth, but honestly, she doesn't even take a turn after the first turn, so I like Resistance. They're a pretty cool faction. Now, I've got a couple more Resistance teams that you can use if you don't happen to have this team, or you're not comfortable with this team, or this team's not working for you for some reason. Again, all you need is the opening turn of Aphra not to be the AoE cooldown increase ability that she has. Excuse me, I'm just knocking my microphone all over the place at the moment. As you can see, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward with this team. It's nice to see Resistance feeling useful for a change, isn't it just? Right, let's check out a different Resistance team. So this time I've gone in with an OG Finn lead with the Bag Bros. We've also thrown in Rose Tico and Zori Bliss. This one will easily get the 8 turns in a row, and obviously the resistance wins. This won't really get you the offense up feat, but it is a very simple and straightforward team to use. Again, you just need to make sure that that Dr. Aphra doesn't come in and use that rather irritating AoE cooldown increase out of the rip. If you get that done, you will be absolutely fine believe me. So I'm just going around here. I took out BT1 at the start because he is actually a real threat. If you let him take a turn, he can just AoE your entire team and you'll just disappear into little bits of particles, much like Thanos' snap. And yeah, she revives them all. It's irritating, but they haven't gotten the chance to take a turn. So we've dispelled buffs. Once again, don't let BT1 take a turn. He is an absolute menace of a droid. Just think about if Chopper broke bad. That's kind of what BT1 is. Oh, see ya, Cassanton. And yeah, I thought it was rather ironic just to decide to use Rose in this lineup because, yeah, she's so great and everything. Yep, 000 is about to bite it in the butt. Come on, 000, get out of there. Oh, ooh, that's his real name. Once we've gotten rid of all the ads for the second time, because of Aphra's rather obnoxious revive mechanic, we can actually deal with Aphra herself. Now again, you won't get offense up from this particular team, but you will get resistance, you will get 8 turns in a row. It's really not so bad. You just need to have that opener not be the cooldown increase, and have enough speed, of course, on Resistance Hero Finn, but it's not massive thanks to the boost you get from Zori Bliss. You see there, resistance units, 8 turns in a row, yada yada yada. Now we can also do it with GL Ray. So this is for those of you that have Galactic Legend Ray unlocked and you're just looking for kind of the no-nonsense approach. I'm relatively certain that you could probably go in with GL Ray and hit auto and probably win. Don't forget that Ray's Whirlwind you can't revive from. She doesn't really care about Aphra's ability to increase our cooldowns because it doesn't really have an impact on our abilities either. So here we go. I'm just once again focusing on BT1. Doesn't even matter if he actually destroys us because all that does is trigger Whirlwind for us, and that's a great time for everybody involved. Now, what you should do here, if you're actually playing this properly and not just mindlessly hammering at buttons like I did, is you should probably get BT1 low and then not kill him until you're ready to Whirlwind, because, you know, Aphra does do this rather irritating revive move that brings him back. Now, obviously, enemies killed by Whirlwind cannot be revived, so that would be the sensible thing to do. But, you know, on a Friday morning, I'm not particularly inclined to engage in very sensible activities. Instead, I would like to waste my time doing things that are unfruitful. I don't know if you feel the same. Whirlwind coming in, yeet, see you 000. It also feels like it's a lot easier to target down Aphra in this instance, but I think I decided, once again in my infinite wisdom, to just start, you know, killing enemies one at a time with Whirlwind, even though Aphra is actually the real threat here. I used Holdo to heal up Ray there, just so that she can get to the next Whirlwind a little bit faster. We use a Whirlwind, we get rid of Santi. IG-88 isn't really much of a threat, truth be told. So there we go, she revives BT1, and I'm like, oh, well, that was grand. Thank you so much. But at least we get to go into our ultimate now and not be fearing the damage output of that BT1, who's about to imminently die once again. Gone the way of the dodo. And we just need to deal with Aphra, IG-88, her summoned droid. And we've got a nice juicy Whirlwind to help us along our way. Now, it should be no time at all until Aphra dies. Now, this won't really get you the 8 turns in a row either, so we still need to think about those of you that need those 2 feats. Let's look at 8 turns in a row if you don't have resistance. I'm going to go in with an EP Mara Jade team, throwing in Vader. I'm also throwing in Wat Tambor and Han Solo. Wat Tambor really wasn't needed for this, so I just thought I'd try it. I'm using Han Solo just to stun Aphra out the gate so we don't have to worry about her doing anything. Then I'm placing weapons tech on Vader. We do a Force Crush, it gives him a bunch of bonus TM, he goes into Merciless Massacre, and we're just going to go round the corn, hitting everybody as much as we possibly can. Now, we've already had 1 turn from Han, so Han, then then Vader's gone in, he's had multiple turns and gone into Merciless Massacre. We've already hit the 8 turns, basically. It's the point I'm trying to make. Aphra is going to do that. Once again, you want to make sure that she doesn't use her cooldown increase. Hopefully that happens to you. And then Mara Jade is just going to take all of the turns in the world as well. So what you can do with Palpatine after this stun is you can look to get shock across the board once again, and then just basic for days, essentially. Because, you know, he's going to be generating TM based on the number of shocks on the field. So every single time he's doing that basic, he'll basically take an entire extra turn for the most part. It's rather good. So my idea behind this was putting weapons tech on Vader means any enemy that Vader kills can't be revived. But honestly, when it gets to this point, the enemy doesn't really get to take another turn. So it was kind of pointless in the first instance, truth be told. But there we go. It is what it is. I decided to put out more dots for reasons. Because I want a Culling Blade IG-88. Boop! There he goes. He took a casual 328,000 damage. Not very much at all, truth be told. Alright, so, continue. Now, I was a little bit concerned when I was doing this that if I defeated all of the other enemies and just left Aphra alive, then I wouldn't have enough TM generation to actually finish her before she took a turn. So make sure you don't kill everybody immediately. Try to put some damage into Aphra because she is very chunky, and we do want to make sure that she can't just come out and revive everybody. Granted, enemies that Vader kill like that, they can't be revived thanks to the weapons tech anyway. So the only one they can revive at this point I think is BT-1, but he is also probably, kind of the biggest threat. So I'm just dealing with Aphra because if she goes, there's no revive mechanic anyway. I'm smart, right? Super smart. So this one is a very, very easy way of getting 8 turns in a row, and you can essentially control the enemy team pretty much indefinitely. They don't get to take turns. They're like, turns? What are those? Am I right? Yeeting out Aphra for good measure because she had it coming, and then it's just Santi at the back here. And I always feel bad about killing Santi. I feel like he's a good soul. Deep down. Very good soul. All right, moving on then. To wrap it up then, we're going to be doing the offense up feat. For this, I'm using Imperial Troopers. So we're using a Via's lead. We're throwing in Piet, Dark Trooper, Range Trooper, and once again, Han Solo. Han Solo is there exclusively to stun Aphra at the start. We're going to place the Emperor's Trap over on Dark, as is tradition, and then I'm going to focus on BT-1. I actually think it's actually smarter to focus on IG-88, because he's actually a little bit weaker, and you'll kill him quicker and get that TM train rolling. So, essentially, every single time under a Via's lead, we destroy an enemy, all of our Imperial Trooper allies are going to gain offense up. Like this. Bloop. Offense up. Isn't that nice? So once we've killed everybody, everybody has gained offense up, apart from OG Han Solo there, Raid Han Solo. And once we've killed everybody, that triggers all of the offense ups that we require. Isn't it nice? Isn't it wonderful? Yes. Yes, it is. Thank you for agreeing with me. So I've killed BT-1, I've killed 000, I'm going in now after IG-88 because he's super squish, and then we're going in for Dr. Aphra. Now, Dr. Aphra is going to take a turn because, she generates a little bit of TM, so it gets to a point where we can't quite get to it, but all she does is stun Dark Trooper, and then we pick it up again and defeat her. So she gets a stun in. I'm like, okay, great. If she did like the AoE cooldown or something like that, it could be a little bit more annoying. But with a bit of RNG, you should be able to get this done. I did this literally first time. Literally first time. So boop, boop, boop. One more hit on Aphra, and she's gone. And that's an extra offense up for our lovely Imperial Troopers. Let's just keep on going. Santi, I'm not even concerned about Santi taking a turn because there's nothing he's really going to do. He can't exactly solo these Imperial Troopers, so we're just going to slowly chip away at Santi. We've got back up to 27 stacks of Imperial Rule, or whatever it is, not Imperial Rule, it's Emperor's Trap, sorry. And then Han interrupts us. How dare you? But he gets the final shot. And that's it, guys. That is an easy way of getting offense up. We've done all of the feats, offense up 20 times, easy peasy, squeezy lemons. Oh, I think that's going to about do it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please do take just one very, very short moment to hit that like and subscribe. We are absolutely flying in viewership lately, and I want to keep that momentum going. So do yourselves a favor, do me a favor, and help spread the tribe as widely as we possibly can. Till the very next video, peace out, and may the Force be with you.